Hello everybody in YouTube land and welcome! Another exciting video here at Playing Board Games. Today I have 6 deck lists for all of you for an upcoming challenge run that we're doing that I am very excited about. This is a run that we've been wanting to do for a very long time. We are bringing the Barkham Investigators through the Dreaming side of Dream Eaters, and their normal counterpart are going to go through the Waking side. This is something that we have talked about for a very long time in doing, but we always said we'll just wait until Kate gets revealed to do it. And now Kate is revealed, so we have the dog and human version of all these Barkham Investigators. Notably, I know what at least one of you is probably thinking, that this is actually against the rules for how the Barkham Investigators work. But to that, I have to say, we built Mecha Roland. We all played Roland Banks, so we don't really, sometimes when we want to do things for fun, we don't care about those kind of rules. We built all these decks with only one collection, and we ruled that the Barkham deck list, so the Barkham Investigators, must contain their class Barkham cards in that deck. So each class had a card in the Barkham Horror Investigator box, and also there is a neutral that is also in one of our decks. If you want to see a live deck build of this, we actually have it exclusively on our Patreon page right now. However, there are no deck lists because I couldn't... The Barkham Investigators, as far as I'm aware, maybe they are on ArkhamDB, but if they are, I'll put these deck lists on there. But there's none of this, so this video is the shape that they are in. I think we should just dig in and get this going. And I'll talk about the cards, and then I'll talk about our 2 decks as well. So, first up, we got Kate Winthrop. So this is the investigator that I am playing. I'm playing both Kate Winthrop and Kate Winthrop throughout this campaign. Kate Winthrop is a 3/4/1/4 scholar and pup. While you're at a location, you've sniffed. Each skill test you perform gets -1 difficulty. And as an action, you can sniff your location or connecting location, and this action does not provoke attacks of opportunity. As an Elder Sign effect, +0, sniff your location or connecting location. Deck building cards are Seeker 0 to 5, Neutral 0 to 5, and up to 5 other level 0 cards that look like they could smell weird. So, that deck building, if you didn't know about these Barkham Investigators, they all are just a little bit silly. They all are a little bit funny. They're joke investigators. So this 5 cards that look like they would smell weird, I tried to not just like put in cards I wanted. Like I wanted, for example, Enraptured in this deck as we're going to be looking at it, but I asked Travis, I was like, do you think this would smell weird? This man would smell weird? Travis was like, no, I don't think he would. So I looked for other things that would have a reason for smelling weird, or Travis also gave me one of my cards, like this thing probably looks like it smells weird, so I just put it in for fun. My signature card is Feline Discombobulator. It discombobulates felines. It's an accessory slot 2 cost. As a reaction, when an enemy would spawn in your location, if that enemy is a cat, looks like a cat, or some kind of weird cat-person hybrid, I can exhaust Feline Discombobulator to automatically evade it. Now, normally, this wouldn't be that great. However, we're playing Dream Eaters, so there might be some cats from Saturn that this actually might do something with. I'm not building around it at all. If I get it, I might play it. I might get a Relic Hunter. I'm not too sure. My weakness is foul odor, put into play in your threat area. After you perform a skill test of the location you have sniffed, take a horror. As an action, discard foul odor and unsniff everything you've sniffed. My signature is, sorry, not my signature, my extra card that from Barkham is Dog Monocle. 2 cost necklace slot, soaks for 2 horror for some reason. Barkham deck only, which is luckily this deck. You get +1 book while investigating and also +1 skill value during parlay actions because, I mean, honestly, look at you. I look at this card and I thought, yes, I would like to have 3 copies of Magnifying Glass. I mean, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you want 3 copies of Magnifying Glass? So I took that in combination and I decided to build an Archaic Glyphs deck for this. I haven't played Archaic Glyphs in forever, so I want to do this. We're going to be upgrading into the version that is the extra clues for the amount of points you succeed by, and basically we're just going to be going hard. We're going to be sniffing locations, getting our number really high, probably buying a Relic Hunter one day to have 2 Dog Monocles, 2 Magnifying Glasses into play, and just go freaking crazy. Archaic Glyphs come with charges, so I wanted to find some ways to use those charges. So we have the Ravenquill and Eldritch Sophist. The Ravenquill I need to upgrade to get to the point that it can do that thing, but until then, it's going to be one of the cards that I will be using to translate my Archaic Glyphs, because I need to translate that in the first scenario. Luckily, we're playing Dream Eaters, so I'm going to get into play on turn 0 in the Dreaming side, which is really nice. Eldritch Sophist is also here to move charges, and then I have my 4 charge cards. They're my charge batteries in the form of Alchemical Transmutation and Scrying. These are also 2 of my cards that smell weird. So they're 4 of my 5 cards that smell weird. Because if you go back over here, up to 5 other level 0 cards that look like they would smell weird. So I went Alchemical Transmutation because we always call this card Poop to Gold. And, you know, dogs, they might like the smell of poop, but I think they kind of like the smell of their own poop more, so that's why I went with this one. And then Scrying, because I'm pretty sure to a dog, like coffee or tea would smell weird to them. And then Longshot was the guy that said, Travis said this guy looks like he would smell weird, so that's why I included that. In addition to this package, I'm playing Calling in Favors and Laboratory Assistant and Art Student, also as a way to not necessarily refresh the Eldritch Sophist, but to maybe seek out the Eldritch Sophist when I have everything put together. Because notably, he has secrets, and we don't actually have anything that like works with the secrets. We might as we upgrade, but right now he's kind of just hanging out and having a good time. I also went with Calling in Favors because there is a classic joke we always say on our channel. Whenever you're playing Sled Dogs, you're playing Calling in Favors, and you go, hello, this is dog. But I wanted to flip it. Now the dog is calling the humans to find the humans to, you know, play with. So I thought that was pretty funny. So that's why I went with that. And then we just have like some just good traditional Seeker stuff. 2 Magnifying Glasses, 2 Fieldworks, 2 Deductions, 2 Perceptions, 2 Eurekas, and 1 Testing Sprint. I think the Testing Sprint's going to be pretty good. I was going to be finding a location that has all of those things, but I think Dream Eaters is going to like, this is probably going to let me investigate like 3 locations, and I think that's probably pretty good for 2 actions. I don't know, we'll see. It might get sided out, but notably I had to look for things that had book icons, and the only stuff that don't have book icons in my deck, looking through this, are just the Fieldworks, the Sophist, the Alchemical Transmutation, and the Longshot. So everything else I can commit to translating my Archaic Glyphs in the first scenario, which is really nice. I like Fieldwork as well because I can sniff a connecting location and then move to it, which I think, so this essentially can give me like +3. I have plans. Yeah, so we'll see how this all works, but I'm pretty excited for this deck. I think it's going to just be a fun time. You might notice that there's actually like no economy, and like my card draw is all kind of just like reactive. That's because my curve, it's like relatively low, right? Like we have our Dog Monocles and Ravenquill and Eldritch Sophist as like our big stuff. And the other things we're going to be either looking to cheat into play or play and then turn them into something else. So I'm going for less required economy, and more like my economy is going to come while I'm naturally just using the Magnifying Glasses or the Dog Monocles to just investigate at a very high number. So it's going to be like a boring deck until I assemble my combo, but the idea is that we're not dependent on the combo. The combo is like the payoff when it comes to needing to just burst some clues down on locations, and that's the thought process here. As for my actual Kate deck, this is a modified version of a deck that sorry, there should be an In the Thick of It this as well. I did not bring that upstairs. This is the deck that has the In the Thick of It, as you can see, because I am starting with 3 experience in my deck. But I did a deck list a while ago on the channel where I did a Kate survival support deck. So she was like a support investigator. They used survival technique to pick up and put down barricade, map the area, and shortcut to. And that's kind of the plan here, where I'm designed to be a little... Oh, I've got 4 I've got plans in there? That's not right. I definitely messed up this deck list. Well, you know, this is... I guess I'm doing an illegal deck here. What is that supposed to be instead? Let me see if I can remember. Deep Knowledge. Ah, okay, yeah, no, I do remember. It's burning the midnight oil. So these I've got a plans. One of the sets there are burning the midnight oil because this deck has it because it's going to be playing. It's going to want to be playing more cards over and over and over again. So yeah, these the one of those sets of the I've got a plans are supposed to be burning the midnight oils. Whoopsie, but you know that's life when you make 6 deck lists. Something's gonna sneak through. But yeah, I think this deck's pretty simple. I'm playing Chemistry Set again. I'm bringing out Dr. Charles West again. This is the second time I've played this guy. I was impressed with him the first time I played him, so I'm curious to see how he works in a 3-player environment. But mostly I'm just kind of like also trying out well-funded, and I'm also, you know, just, I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to upgrade really well. I'm very excited to try this Kate deck out. Unfortunately, I put some bad vibes on Travis because I said my Clue deck is kind of memey. So, like, I don't think I want to be, like, the main Cluever Kate. I want to be, like, a flex support Kate, leaning kind of towards clues. And Travis said, okay. Unfortunately, Travis chose Skids O'Drool for his investigator. So Skids O'Drool is a 2/3/3/4. As an action, spend 1 resource, move. You give a human puppy dog eyes until they give you a car ride. Move up to 3 times, ignoring enemy engagement, limit once per round. Elder Sign effect, +2, deal 1 damage to the next enemy whose location you enter this round. His deck building is 30, rogue cards 0 to 5, neutral cards 0 to 5, up to 5 other level 0 cards that move you, and by move we mean physically, not emotionally. His signatures are Take the Wheel. Fast, play only during your turn. This is a 2-cost event. For the remainder of turn, whenever you enter a location, deal 3 damage to an enemy at that location. That is a very powerful card. But Travis needs to find it. So like that's those Travis things with Skids O'Drool and also Skids. He was like, "What am I doing?" And then also like, I have to build a Cluever Skids. It's gonna be something. Signature weakness is Dog Catchers. Prey, Skids O'Drool, Hunter, 2/3/3 for its stats. After you enter Dog Catcher's location or it enters your location, you cannot move for the remainder of the round. He's playing the higher dogs because he has to. 3-cost asset, soaks for 2 and 2. Barkham deck only is a lightning bolt. During your turn, exhaust higher dogs, fight and investigate. Either attack with a base skill of 4 or investigate with a base skill of 4. After the test ends, either pay 1 resource in dog food or discard higher dogs. So I think that's going to be a pretty powerful card and is going to get stuff done, and he's running 2 copies of them. Travis also requested the Hair of the Dog because it's kind of like just a promise of power that makes you drunk. You get max 1 commit per skill test. After it ends, the investigator performing this test gets -2 skill value for the next skill test they perform this round. Honestly, it should actually be pretty easy to make this card not really have a downside. Looking at his deck, it moves. It moves. So, as you can see, the 2 higher dogs, 2 Hair of the Dogs. His cards that are the cards that move him are 2 copies of Task Force, 2 Shortcuts, and 1 Survival Instinct. Pretty standard stuff. I think Survival Instinct is really nice. I think Shortcut's obviously good, and Task Force is really nice. It's going to work well with both me and Bryn as his teammates. And then other than that, it looks like he has, Travis has tools to get his foot higher, make some money through emergency cash and sneak buy so he can like pay for his ability, his higher dogs, etc., etc. He has Lone Wolf because he wants to, be on his own. And then he just has like Lucky Cigarette Case, Ethereal Slip, Honed Instinct, Perception, and Manual Dexterity. So just like a lot of tools to kind of just give him more of what he wants to be doing, and then like the sneak attack to deal with enemies, and then that he's going to be evading. And then the Fox Mask is here to give him a boost to his book or his foot, while also he's going to be leaving locations with enemies a lot, he said. So that's why Fox Mask is here. And a dog wearing a Fox Mask, that's crazy. It's unheard of, but it's happening. But yeah. I'm curious. I mean, like, I'm more optimistic than Travis because I think this just seems like traditional enemy management. Like, she's going to be doing his own thing and then using the higher dogs to just grab clues off low shroud locations while he's moving around and grabbing lower shroud locations and dealing with enemies. I think, like, the theory of it is sound. I'm very curious to see how it upgrades into, but I think this deck, I mean, we're playing Dream Eaters and we're playing Barkham Investigators. It's going to be fun no matter what happens. Now, going back to what I said earlier, when I told Travis, can you be, like, more main Cluever, I unfortunately put Travis in a sticky spot. So Travis This deck I titled Skids Has Travis Lamenting Playing Skids. Travis did not have fun building this deck, which you can see again on Patreon right now. You can join for the $3 level and get access to the video to see us building it. But Travis ended up deciding on focusing on a well-connected build because it's probably the easiest thing to do in order to reliably investigate with Skids, at least with this build that he's focusing on. He has 8 cards in his deck that give him money, 2 bank jobs, 2 scrimshaw charms, 2 emergency caches, and 2 Faustian bargains. I almost call them Faustian supplies. That's really funny. But all these things are just like here to give him a boatload of money, and then he has a variety of tools to help him get clues, whether it be by testing or by just buying clues or cheating clues off of locations. So he has 2 flashlights, 2 lockpicks, 2 thieves kits. These are all tools that he can use to investigate. 2 eavesdrop, which is turning his evasions into or aloof enemies into clues using his book. He has 2 scene of the crimes, 2 breaking and enterings, 2 intel reports. Just nice little tools for helping him to get clues. He's upgrading into things like I think I saw, Red Clock is in the Schizo Drool deck. But he's upgrading into things like, well-connected Fine Clothes, High Roller, like all these, not Fine Clothes, the fancy coat, stylish coat, the Rogue one. I think like High Roller, he's very much interested in playing, so I think it's going to upgrade really nice, but I think that's just kind of the truth, that Rogue upgrade cards are very strong, and I think there's going to be some cool things there. A few more pieces to help finish this puzzle are 2 scout aheads for foot icons, but also just for like some burst movement as needed, and then 2 take the initiatives, and you handle this ones for Mythos phase protection. Now, we have Bryn, who, you can probably guess Bryn is playing our boy Bark Harrigan. Bark Harrigan is 3/2/5/2. You have 2 additional paw slots, which can only be used to hold weapon assets. Yes, that's right, you heard me, don't ask how. So this is, he basically gets like a Bandolier 2 at the start of the game that just doesn't give a brain boost and can only hold weapons. So like that's a really nice ability, and Bryn honestly had a lot of fun with it. Elder Sign effect is +2, reduce the cost of the next weapon asset you play this round by 2. Deck size 30, guarding cards level 0, neutral cards level 0 to 5, weapon cards level 0. And then he has the Gatling Gun, which is the art for the Gatling Gun card that was just spoiled. 5 cost, 2 hands, uses 12 ammo, double actions, spend 1 to 3 ammo, fight. You get +X fist and deal +X damage for this attack, where X is the amount of ammo spent as part of this ability's cost. Really fun, really cool. And not too dissimilar to what we saw sort of in the Gatling Gun card that was revealed. You can see that there was a lot of follow through from one design into the next. Even though I would think that the Gatling Gun is probably just better in the blanket statement of, all this kind of thing. More Bark Than Bite is the signature weakness. Put into play in your threat area, you get -3 fist. Bark, bark, bark. After you defeat an enemy, discard more Bark Than Bite. I like this this signature weakness a lot because it's actually kind of scary, and it has a really cool way of getting through this. That's not just a double action. I think it's going to be really fun. The card that Bryn has to play is Spiked Collar. It's in your accessory, and as a reaction, when an enemy deals damage to you, exhaust Spiked Collar, deal 1 damage to the attacking enemy. So Bryn went on like a journey for this, where he started as a Thorns build, but then he kind of transformed into a different build that we're not going to see here, but I'm going to like put some pointers down for where we're going to see it going. So 2 Spiked Collars, 2 boxing gloves, 2 Enchanted Blade, 2 Mausers, 2 Gravedigger shovels. So an assortment of weapons, like an absolute like assortment of weapons that we're going to be seeing here. Notably, he has the boxing gloves to synergize with some spirit cards that he has, right? Like he has toe-to-toe, get behind me, counter-punch, clean them out, stand together to work with this boxing gloves. But he also has a variety of other weapons that he's going to be doing, but some of them, like Gravedigger Shovel, might look a little bit unconventional, and that's because Travis gave Bryn was like, give me a survivor weapon, and I'm going to play with it, and Travis gave him Gravedigger Shovel. But he also has Enchanted Blade and Mauser. And you might be noticing there's a lot of different colors here. There's a lot of different classes. Bryn is planning on playing synergy stuff as he upgrades here, which I think is a really cool idea of exploring Bark Harrigan in a way that's not traditional and is very Bryn, which I think is really cool. But otherwise, yeah, the weapons are really good. Has a bandolier so he can hold even more weapons because I think he wants to get all 5 out. Like basically Boxing Gloves, Enchanted Blade, Mauser, and Gravedigger Shovel. He wants to see all of them in play at once. And I think that'll be a really fun idea. You can see with Guard Dog and the Counterpunch and the Get Behind Me and the Toe-to-Toe, actually, all of these cards is where like the Thorns build for Spiked Collar is really shining. And then he has Medical Student to help keep him alive, but also give him that Seeker for the synergy cards that he's going to be going to. And then otherwise, the Vicious Blows, E-Cash, clean them out, and stand together. I think that's a really cool type of build here. The Get Behind Me, I think, is going to be really nice. I think it's going to work really well with Schizo Drool, actually. And I think it's also going to work well with my Kate Windpup, too. And I like the Toe-to-Toe and Counterpunch. Honestly, I think this deck's going to be really fun to watch Bryn pilot. So get ready for that. And in true Bryn fashion, he cooked up something else to play with for his Mark Harrigan deck in the companion side. And that is Mark has a shotgun and it's old. Notably, you can't see that shotgun here, but Bryn is playing the old shotgun deck. So that's the 0-cost Guardian Rogue card. I think it's 2 experience. Where it comes in with 0 ammo, but whenever you're playing an event, you treat the ammo of that card as if it was 2. So that's why we're seeing False Surrender, why we see this hold up here, because Bryn is planning on cheating in his old shotgun that he's going to be upgrading his 45 automatic into. And then also his survival knife is going to turn into a Brand of Cthugha. And then the cleaning kit works well with old shotgun. One in the chamber works well with old shotgun. Bryn is getting a little bit funky here, and you honestly just love to frickin' see it. I can't wait for him to false surrender the old shotgun in. And you have to use foot, so that's why Bryn is playing Wolf Mask, is to help help that. I mean, it's going to work with the old shotgun just on the tin as well, but I think it's going to... I think it's going to be really, really fun to see it all come together. Hold Up, I think, is also, it's going to be exciting to, see that. I'm happy that card left my binder because I can't imagine right now a deck where I could play it. Same with even False Surrender. Like, neither of these cards are really like, I mean, False Surrender is not awful. I mean, I don't know, but I really like what Bryn has cooked up here because this is something that I don't think I would have cooked up, especially because there's so many users that, like, you could play the old shotgun in Will York and he has a lot of synergy with it, and then Bryn's like, nah, I'm going to do it in Mark Harrigan. It's true Bryn fashion for me, and I love it. In addition, he has a... prepared for the worst, help him find a shotgun because it's going to be important. B-Cop to be Beat Cop, some money and E-Cash, Vicious Blow and Daring, just good skills that deal extra damage or replace themselves to draw cards. Also works with the synergy of Daring with old shotgun to give more of a boost. And then he's got Kicking the Hornet's Nest because I think to quote him, something that was like, this card is quietly just one of the goats. So that's I mean, it does make a lot of money. I've personally gone down on Kicking the Hornet's Nest, but I do think in Mark Harrigan it's not bad because Mark's damage output is really high, and he also likes to get a bunch of money in the Guardian class. Last few, he has Second Wind, True Grit, and Something Worth Fighting For, which I think are just really cool cards to keep him alive, and just simple cards too, because he's not running too much soak. But as you can see, this is not like the normal Mark Harrigan deck. But Bryn's played a lot of Mark Harrigan, and they're just getting more and more abnormal, which you kind of just love to see. So I'm really excited for all of these decks. I think that, like, it's going to be a really fun run, and you should all be sure to watch it. So the first video is going to be Friday this week, so October 4th. And I'll include a link in the video description to that first video. If for some reason that link isn't there, give me a shout in the comments. I will also check to see if these decks are actually, like, you actually can do Barkham Investigators on Arkham DB. I don't think you can. I've never seen them, but maybe I'm just like, there's a blind spot and they are somewhere. So I'll check them again, and if that is the case, I will do the deck list for them. on ArkhamDB, and they'll be in the video description too. But otherwise, I hope you enjoy this series. It's going to be a great time. When it's all done, I will do a video where I will show the final versions of these decks as well, because I know you guys all like that. So make sure you are commenting and subscribing. Commenting and liking the video, and also subscribing if you want to, make sure I keep doing these deck list videos, because if you don't tell me, I'm like a goldfish. I'll forget that you like them. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching. Huge thank you to all of our patrons for supporting the channel. You guys rock so much. If you want to support us even further than just this video, you can do so by finding a link to our Patreon, where, again, the live deck building video where we build these decks is there right now. In the meantime, have a good one. Thanks for watching. And as always, GG's.